Hello, family, and welcome to another episode of Role Model Makers Experts Cafe. I'm your host, Dr. Al, the Parent Whisperer, and today with me I have an amazing human being, Dr. Patricia Kaine. Dr. Kaine has been in our community. She's a delight. Every time I've had an encounter with her, it has been an amazing conversation. And I thought, why not bring her forward and have everybody hear about it? So here we are. So please pay attention because the information that she's about to share with you is really, really important. It's kind of one of those key components that ultimately takes potential and ultimately brings it down to performance and where the rubber hits the road, if I could use a car analogy. Dr. Kaine, thank you so much for being here and being part of our show and taking time out of your busy schedule to be here. Can you tell us a little bit more about what you do, your focus, and how you got to do what you do?
First of all, I'm honored to be part of your community and to be put on this show. That is quite an honor because you are on a high pedestal in my world. Um, Basically, what I do is, let me give a little bit of backstory. I've got a very strong suicide background. I've had 5 family members die by suicide. I myself was hospitalized 4 times to save my life. But with that, I use that as seed material to do what I can to alleviate that issue in the world as much as possible. After with 4 hospitalizations, I came up with everything they teach you is fantastic, but it takes too long. As a busy physician, single parent of 5 kids, I did not have 2 hours a day to do the deep breathing, the progressive relaxation, etc. But they were all vital tools. So what I did is I developed, and when I was suicidal, I felt very much like a caterpillar. I've got worth, but it was to be turned into fertilizer. Most people don't like what caterpillars do. So, but a caterpillar goes into a cocoon, a safe place, and comes out a beautiful butterfly, which is why a lot of this is called butterfly method, because I take people from that negative thought process through a safe place called the bathroom, and that they come out with hope. And my way of doing, basically, I just took a lot of the things that I was taught in my 4 hospitalizations, mushed them all together so I could do it quickly. And things like stop therapy, that's the that's for empowered. It's exit. If you tell a person, if you hear a policeman's whistle, people stop what's going on. But if you say in any situation, I've got to go to the bathroom, guess what? You're free to leave. It's a safe way to get out of an environment that is not helpful for you at the time. And then
And I actually want to make sure that I bring this to everybody's attention because this is not something that has to be done for only mental health or depression or suicide. This is something that anytime you're not uh, in your best state of being, you have this excuse to get up, get away, go to the bathroom, and show up
right.
as you wish to. So, yeah,
and,
wow,
and
beautiful.
I have in previous talks, I've had people give me feedback of after the fact of saying, I use that to help me go to sleep at night. I use that to help me control myself when I've got to interact with my kids. I use that when my spouse and I are on different pages. So you're absolutely right, doctor. It is good for anything that gives distress so that you can bring it over to something more positive.
So, in this particular case of parents that are being pulled in many different directions, is this something that they can teach their kids to do as well? Or how young would somebody be before they could implement this?
They've got to be at the age where they understand words. So
Okay.
I'm going to say, in fact, we're actually in the process of writing one of those cardboard books that are like 8 pages long for the three
Hmm.
to 5 year olds. We've also
Right.
got in process a book meant geared to the middle agers from like 7 to 13. Those are both in process. Hopefully, my goal is to have them both published in 2024.
Wonderful. We're going to be looking for that. So this is for kids that actually this can be applied for kids that actually understand feelings and also
Right.
can use words basically to be able to express.
And are potty trained.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Exactly.
yes.
Good point.
And
Good.
in
Very
fact,
cool.
for them, it's easier because when we talk about progressive relaxation, relaxing your muscles and that age, you just say become a rag doll. And they instantly are able to relax their muscles because they have not been built up with years of tension in their muscles.
Right. Right. Exactly. They always have it easier, I tell you.
Hey, because they don't have these pathways that are already developed that are not
Exactly.
helpful to them.
Exactly. All right. So, what are the typical things, the complaints that you see people walk through as either patients or people that are seeking your advice and your help? What are the typical people that approach you? What kind of complaints do you hear?
The biggest, simplest way to put it is I'm a victim because of.
Hmm. Okay. So and so
And
did this, and so this is the result.
right,
Got it.
right. My boss is picking on me or whatever. And so to put it in a simple phrase, that would probably be the phrase. And in honesty, none of us are victims unless we choose to be,
So,
because we were made with powers in our mind, our heart, and our gut that if we choose to interact with them, we can choose to be a participant rather than a victim.
exactly. Beautiful. Beautiful. All right. So in this whole process of not process in this community that we have today where there is negativity, there is tensions, there is stress, there's demands, um, how do you kind of separate yourself from all of this? I understand the part where you're saying, may I go to the bathroom? So I love that part. Uh, but there is a moment that you need to realize that if I do not go to the bathroom right now, what's going to happen next is not going to be me. So can you elaborate a little bit more on that?
I'm going to I've never had it put to me quite that way, but it's a very interesting way of being able to elaborate it. It's a case of you are in a position of choice. Do you want to allow them to control your choices, whatever the them is, or do you want to own the beautiful person you are?
I heard was that if I'm in a situation where I feel like I'm about to lose control, or that this situation is not going the way that I want it to go, then that's a signal that before I start reacting and thinking about what I need to do to survive, I need to take a moment and go to the
Mhm.
bathroom. All right. So what happens? Tell me. I'm now like at the edge of my seat. What happens in the bathroom?
Basically, I'm going to go very quickly through that on the way to the bathroom. Hand here, chest and abdomen. On the way, you're taking deep breaths because you want to oxygenate your body as much as possible. Hand on the belly moving, your breaths are fine. Hand on the chest moving, breathe deeper. So it takes no time because you're walking to the bathroom anyhow. Once you get,
And I want to pause here because I want to kind of go back to when I was in my private practice days with the kids. Before I would ever ask the kids for their therapy, I would check their sleep, I would check their diet, and then I would also check their oxygen. This oxygen is essential because without it, the rocket fuel that you have in your body cannot transform into energy and you can't get things done. So, what Dr. Patricia is saying here is really, really important because you do need to make sure there's adequate oxygen. And usually, when we are tense, we start taking shorter breaths, and we are either already hypoxic and don't have enough oxygen on the way to the bathroom. So, you have to do this. This is a very key component.
and going back to your car analogy, it doesn't matter if you've got a full tank of gas if the line to the engine is cut.
Absolutely. Good point. All right. So, breathing.
And and also while you're breathing on the in breath, you think I am out breath, relaxed, or something similar, because this starts calming the body down from whatever is causing the issue. Again, takes no time because you're walking anyhow. Once you get to the bathroom, you sit down on the commode and then you totally relax your body. And then once you're totally relaxed, you visualize whatever the negativity is going down your spine into the commode, because you want to flush that negativity away.
Cool.
Nature doesn't like a empty space. So once you've got rid of the negativity, you've got an empty space that you choose your happy place or something joyful for you to concentrate on. You know, do you like going to Starbucks? Do you like sitting on the side of a mountain? Do you like going to the seashore? You know, what is a happy place for you? Imagine you're in your happy place. You're already starting to smile a little bit, Dr. Al. See how quickly you're able to transfer over, because nature wants you to be able to have the fullness and joy of life.
Okay, wonderful.
Now, once you have that in mind, again, you're continuing to do the breathing because you continue to need the oxygenation. So then you flush the negative away, which gets auditory involved because you actually hear the negative leaving. You wash your hands of it, which gets tactile involved. And then you come out with a plan either to write about, go to, talk about something more happy and joyful. And that is a nutshell of what the empowered butterfly method is.
So you actually don't have to go ahead and address whatever it was that was irritating you.
No,
You can
because you
actually
flushed
go
it
ahead.
away.
Right, right. That's wonderful.
You don't turn around and explore what you put in the commode to see, oh, does it have any of this, that, or the other thing in it? Did I chew my corn thoroughly, or are there corn in here? You don't need to go through what it is in order to change to something better.
Okay, wonderful.
And in 12 years, I was hospitalized 4 times. I developed the butterfly method in 1990 and have had 0 hospitalizations since then.
Okay.
There were 5 family members who died by suicide from the mid 60s till the mid 80s until 90. 0 since then. And I've never had to write suicide as the cause of death on a patient chart, because I would teach them the butterfly method without revealing the secret as to why I developed it. They had no idea of how much it is a personal thing of mine. And my goal now is to bring it out to the world. And ideally, I will live to see the day when mass media turns around and says, there have been no suicides reported in the world for the past period of time, whether you talk about a day or a week or whatever.
They would never say that because it's not catchy to me. But
Hey,
that's a good sign. When we don't hear about it, that's a good sign.
exactly. And to take that rise in amounts of suicide and reverse the curve,
Right.
because,
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah,
and that's my
absolutely.
goal in life.
Beautiful. Dr. Kaine, I understand also that when it comes to any human being, that you're not alone. So it's also important to understand community. And I definitely encourage people to practice this, because I know that just like every other neural pathway we were talking about, the effectiveness of the exercise also increases the more you do it. So it might feel very either ridiculous, or it might feel difficult to do the very first time. But overall, not giving up and doing it over and over again is going to make you more proficient, better at it, and make the exercise more effective as well.
I use the analogy of tying a shoe. When you tie a shoe for the first time, it's very challenging.
Right.
if you're given a hint as a way to make the shoe easier to tie, it's easier to do. And what I did with my kids is I said, you make a tree stump. That's the first loop. You have the rabbit run around the tree stump and go in the hole. Now you pull it tight so the fox can't follow him in. So now you've got a pattern. But then once you've done it over and over, muscle memory gets involved in. You don't think twice about tying a shoe
Exactly.
at this
Exactly.
point. But the same with any new thing that you're doing. The more you do it, the easier it is. I'm going to
Absolutely.
just give you the example of the progressive relaxation. When I first learned it, it was tighten this group of muscles and move all the way across your entire body. I have
Mhm.
done it for over 35 years. Tell me to progressively relax, I become an instant rag doll because it is my body knows exactly what it needs to do.
Awesome. So the first part was keep doing this exercise. It will improve and make itself more effective and more meaningful in your life. The second thing is the importance of community. So I wanted to ask you, how can people connect with you? Because every once in a while, we all need additional support. The exercise might not be enough. So when people need to reach out to somebody, how can somebody get a hold of you, reach out, connect with your community, and find out more about you?
Um, I do have a link on LinkedIn. I do have an email address. I'll put both of those in the chat for people who want that. I'm also in the process of creating a course, taking every step of the empowered butterfly method step by step, that they're going to be able to in 2024 when it gets published, the course that they'll be able to go into that, and also joining fantastic groups like Dr. L's group, because then you'll be around positive people, because the more you surround yourself with positive, the less the negative is going to be able to influence you.
Wonderful. Guys, Dr. Kane has given me lots and lots of information. In fact, there is a lot more that she hasn't even mentioned. I'm going to put it all in the description. Please make sure that you go to the bottom of this, click on the description links, and connect with her. This is really, really important, not only for ourselves to connect to the world outside, but also to role model the behavior to our kids and those who are watching us, that it is okay not to have all the answers, that there are good people out in the world, that they're genuinely interested in helping us, supporting us, and making the world a better place. And it is important for us to connect and communicate with each other in that sense. So if you haven't already done so, make sure you click like and subscribe on this video. That way you get notified of all the future experts that come here sharing their expertise and gifts with you, and also get to connect with Dr. Kane as well. Dr. King, once again, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule. Any final words for our audience members?
Well, first, before the final words for the audience members, I want to say two things. If you go to the website, you will be able to get what's linked to some free gifts. And if you go to the um, link in Amazon, that's where you can get a copy of this book. I priced it under $10 so that nobody has an excuse not to be able to get it. And that's on purpose because we've got to get this message out to the world, because the world has been so infiltrated with fear and negativity. We've got to turn it around to something more positive. And every step a person does to do that is a step in the right direction, a step in the way nature wants us to go. Nature wants us happy. I've got no place. You don't see birds being grumpy. You don't see flowers being grumpy. Our goal is to have joy, and people who infiltrate us with fear, etc., want to control us. Let's control ourselves by giving the joy to the world.
Beautiful, beautifully said. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Dr. King. Until next time. Cheers.